Hello, Star Wars and unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba, and today I am on a road trip to a toy show. Yes, I am getting out and getting to a very small Woodbridge toy show taking place about 45 minutes from my home. And it's not a very big one. It's not anything too crazy. But then again, toy shows never really are. So, they tend to just have a few. It's about 40 vendors. I just thought I would take a ride over there, see what they got, see what kind of things there are. And we'll see what we'll see what we will see. Before I do that, I'm not gonna do much more here. I'm gonna get us right to the space. Partially because my car doesn't have a really good holder for the thing. So if I try to move the car, it kind of does this. And I don't think you're gonna want to watch that for 1, 2, 5 seconds, let alone minutes. So I'm gonna just I have the car parked at my driveway here, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit about my thoughts on the latest Book of Boba Fett episode. If you want to get more detail, check out my podcast, War of the Stars, a Star Wars podcast, which I do with John Mark Tolley, and you can actually check it out anywhere podcasts are released. And but the long and short of it is, I'm really loving this show. It's a little bit slow, okay? It does go at a little bit of a slow pace, but I do appreciate the reasoning for that. It is kind of telling two stories. It's telling stories about how Boba Fett became the Boba Fett that we see in The Mandalorian from the time that when we last saw him as the bounty hunter who got rolled into the Sarlacc pit by a blind and dumbfounded Han Solo. Where? And there you go. We see kind of a story. It kind of runs a la Godfather Part 2, where we're seeing kind of two stories take place. But by the end of the 4th episode, the flashback portion of the show kind of catches up. I am enjoying the show immensely. I think it's fantastic. I'm loving seeing this character's story change and grow and unfold. I am enjoying the Ming-Na Wen Fennec Shan character. I mean, it's pretty basic. It's not anything, too monumentally complex, but I also believe that she's going on her own journey as well. So, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. I hope it's set up in a way that can wrap up, but also give potential for a new season, because I think there's more Boba Fett story to tell. I know that he's a very interesting character, and I also know that it's a kind of as everything in Star Wars is these days. I guess the word polarizing is the word du jour. Honestly, my opinion on that is, if you don't like it, fine. You don't like it. I really don't believe in the fatalism that I'm seeing on the internet. I understand if you have criticisms of the show, great. You have criticisms. I appreciate that. But being critical of a show and having kind of fatalistic, sound bites and titles on videos to make you want to click is really that's just standard, media nonsense that is used to sell, just like, big headlines are used to sell newspapers back 100 years ago. So it's nothing new. You just got to know what it is. So, just go in there with your understanding of it. But I would just tell everybody who hasn't seen it to watch it and have your own opinion. You might love it. You might not love it. A lot of people have a problem with it because Boba Fett is a character that they wanted to leave as a mystery, which I get. I mean, I can, that's a legitimate gripe. It's a legitimate complaint. There's a lot of mystery that's no longer there with Boba Fett that was there in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. But that ship is sailed, and I choose as a Star Wars viewer of Star Wars content. I choose to embrace it and say, okay, let's see what the story. If you're not going to leave the story as a mystery, well, then let's see what the story is. And that's kind of where I am with it. So you be your own judge. But I'm loving the fan service that we get from time to time. The nice thing about the TV series, the nice thing about both Mandalorian and Boba Fett, and I'm sure we'll continue to move on, is that you're getting these little tidbits of fan service without it being this grandiose thing. And that's good. And you also get moments without fan service. You get moments where they're telling new stories and trying different things, because they can do that. They have the time to do that. So I appreciate that. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the show wraps up. I'm looking forward to seeing the next set of Disney Plus series that are coming out, because that is the future of Star Wars for the time being. I'm sure we'll get movies in the theater again, but not right now. And heck, to those that I'm sorry, but I do have to address one thing, and I'll just say this and leave it at that. You can disagree and leave a comment if you wish, but I am much happier now that we have the Disney era of Star Wars than I would have been without it. And I'll tell you why I know this. I am also a huge Back to the Future fan, and the Back to the Future franchise kind of went the different route that Star Wars didn't do and Star Trek didn't do, and not even Indiana Jones did. And that is that they made their 3 movies and they're done. And that's it. And it's great. I mean, they made that choice, and I understand that. But now we have 3 movies, and 40 years on almost, we have 3 movies. And that's it. There's no further part of the story. So we just keep waxing nostalgic about those 3 movies. And, but there's always that itchy part of us that wonders what would happen if we could get, I know Michael J. Fox is dealing with his own issues with Parkinson's, but, he's still around, he still acts, and Christopher Lloyd is still around, and Leah Thompson is still around, and, there's always going to be like, what if? I think some argue, well, maybe we should just leave it at that. But to me, I would much rather be having conversations about new Star Wars while also being nostalgic for the old Star Wars. And I'm okay with it. So that's me. If you don't like it, you can disagree. It's totally good. And the best 2 words in the English language, respectfully disagree. Use that. As long as you're respectful, it's all right. All right, so let's get to Woodbridge and see what kind of interesting things they have there. Okay, well, that ended up being not what I expected. That was actually a card show, a trading card show, Pokemon, gaming cards, that kind of thing. So, I thought it said toy show on the advertisement, but it actually has the toy show tomorrow. And today was the actual card show, so not a bad thing. I mean, I did manage to pick up one thing, which I'll show you in a second. So, I did manage to pick up these magnets that were, just a simple little thing that somebody was selling, right? The person who was actually doing the tickets. We have a little R2 action figure magnet, so that's kind of cool. It's a little bigger than life size, so that was neat. And then we had, of course, a little Jawa magnet. Really neat. Yeah, it's just a photo magnet, that's all it is. But I like them, they're kind of cute. And of course, Vader. Yeah. Before we so I'm not sure if I'll get back there. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get back there tomorrow or not. I might still try to wake up and just go in the morning when it first opens and just kind of do a quick walkthrough. It's not a very big space. It's just a little room devoted for a little banquet room in a Hampton Inn. So I might check it out again tomorrow. It wasn't really a long trip, so I'll check it out then and see what we got. But before I head out today, I want to check right next door. There is a Walmart, so we'll see if there's been any new shipments in there. Okay, so Walmart was actually more fruitful than I thought it would be. This time of year, of course, Valentine's Day. So I always like to pick up at least one Valentine. This one is a magnet, character magnet, because I usually get they either have pencils or school supplies or something, so I always like that. And then the other thing is, let's get this thing out of the way here. Can't get it in my bag. There we go. we have this. We have the Book of Boba Fett voice cloner Boba Fett feature plush. So apparently you're supposed to like speak into its fist, and it's supposed to repeat what he says, and it comes with a cute little backpack. It's really the first Boba Fett item I've seen in the wild, so meaning from Book of Boba Fett. So that's really good. I'm not sure about tomorrow yet. We might still go. I will put a little bumper on the video if we don't. Otherwise, maybe the next thing you'll see is either that or us at the toy fair or toy show. Hello, everyone. So here we are with at least part of the adventure that was this weekend. But I just want to get this thing unboxed because it just looks too cute, looks too cool, that I want to make sure we do that. So this is obviously, you can tell by the look of Boba's costume that this is not a Boba Fett from the original trilogy. This is not a Boba Fett from the prequel trilogy. This is a Boba Fett from the Book of Boba Fett, says so on the title, and you can tell by his costume. So obviously it's definitely a little more infantile. Okay, we're not dealing with a Black Series figure here or anything of that nature. Those are coming. We've ordered them. The orders are placed and they will be arriving. But still feel the need to have this as a kind of added part of the collection. I have gotten a little bit more selective with what I purchase because, frankly, again, because of space and looking into the future, I'm realizing that a downsize is necessary eventually. Not anytime soon. This is probably looking 10 years down the road, but I would rather 10 years come and have me already have done some of the downsizing and not get to 10 years and add 10 more years of adding to the collection, only then to have to take 10 times of what the amount we have here or something, some number like that, and have to try to box it up and ship it somewhere. So let's take this baby out and see what we got. All right, so it's the boxes were all poorly, they weren't really well, what's the word, structured, I guess you could say. Their foundations were bad, so as a result, they are all the boxes that I looked at were kind of iffy. So, but it was nice to see something new. As you saw in my videos and my footage, there wasn't much there in the Walmart that I looked at, and I have to. Here we go. We have cable, or whatever, zip ties. There we go. No more zip tie. All right. I think that's him, and he's got his little jetpack here. Watch my finger here. Might have noticed my little Band-Aid that was not from an unboxing. I am very careful with my unboxing. That was actually from peeling carrots. There we go. All right. Ugh. Okay. So I guess this goes here. So I think this just. So this is pretty basic. This is basically just a squeeze and there's your rocket. So nothing too crazy there. And it's got a little Velcro back. So okay, this is going to be an issue because this thing is not going to want to stay on. But there we go. All right. So now it says, I'm going to take this off for now, just to make sure that I didn't have any. Double check the battery pack. I don't see anything. I don't see any on-off buttons. So let's see. It says, repeats what you say. I am Boba Fett. Ah! I don't want your armor. I want my armor. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that. I'm going to get him a little closer there. Well, now I am insulted. If I do it from the back. Well, now I am insulted. We've got to get a protocol droid. All right, that's pretty cool. So,
And he's got a little bit of flatness on his feet, so I think he might stand. But he is his head is hard plastic, and his body is plush. So he's definitely going for the cutesy factor. But if you try to stand him up, you're gonna get that. So put him in like that. Rocket launches. Yeah, I don't like the rocket too much, but all right. So I'm not a fan of the rocket, but I love the voice feature. Okay, and it's just great to see the Boba Fett with the new kind of, now we know to be Tusken Raider. Sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. Tusken Raider robe undergarments. So that's pretty cool. All right, cool. Whoop. And there it goes again. All right, so I don't know. This darn rocket. Ah. All right, so is this worth the drive I made? Well, we'll see. I'm shooting these out of order. So at the point of this video, it's the night before the Sunday where I'm going to go back early in the morning, or not early, but in the morning at the start of the event. I have kind of a laundry list of items I'm going to look for. Some items that I wasn't able to get in their initial run when they were first released. Some Black Series figures, some VC figures. So we're going to see what I can find. It wasn't a very big space, as you saw in the video earlier. So we'll see what it looks like when it's a toy show instead of a card show.
Here we are, day 2 of the Toy Fair adventure. I've got my caffeinated beverage and I'm heading out. I'm gonna go and try to get in for the early, there's like an early buyers way you can get in, and it's not a very big space, as you saw. I'm very curious to see how they set it up for a toy show. It's probably the same exact setup, but it looks like I was actually pretty impressed with the activity for a very, very small event for a card show. So I'll be curious to see how this one goes. So let's do this. Okay, a much more successful day, or I should say much more successful 35 minutes, but I did manage to go through and check things out, and I was pleasantly surprised to see quite a bit of Star Wars. As you saw in the video, I kind of ran a slightly high speed through, you can see. The funny thing to me is how much Funko Pop is everywhere. Oh my goodness, I couldn't even fathom having that many Funko Pops. But apparently it's a big collector market, so, you know, there it is. So, in terms of what I was able to pick up, I was really excited for these. These are the, I guess, yeah, they are the Lucasfilm 50th Anniversary Collection Clone Wars. I've been able to find the Episode 1 versions of these. These basically are 6-inch versions of the figures that were released as 3 3/4 inch versions with this type of card art. And they, you know, in celebration of Lucasfilm 50th Anniversary, they've been releasing samples of everything from, you know, the Power of the Force 2 release, the orange cards. I think there was some green card releases. There are, we have some of these with Clone Wars. There's some Episode 1 releases. So there's been a lot. These have been very elusive. They've been really hard to track down. So of course we have Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is great. And this is kind of one of my goals. You know, I did a little bit extra homework this time, and I actually went and looked through the things that I have, the things that I don't have, and this was one that I truly wanted. I love this card art. I love the nostalgic feel to it, which is really funny because, you know, being nostalgic for 2008 seems a little strange, but it is 14 years ago. So hey, what are you gonna do? So Obi-Wan, I love how he's got the partially the armor. So I think that's really cool. All right, and the next one able to acquire again was the Anakin Skywalker, which is, again, you know, you can see it's, you know, it's a new sculpt. I think these figures have been released on other cards, and that's fine. I don't mind having doubles. These obviously will stay in the card if I have loose versions of them, especially, but I just love to have a few samplings, and I'm liking that Lucasfilm is just giving a few tastes of them, not trying to release every figure over again. So Anakin Skywalker with the realistic face sculpt, just like Obi-Wan. And then the last Star Wars item I have was I was able to acquire the Stormtrooper, the prototype Stormtrooper retro. So that's pretty cool. I was pretty happy with the I mean, the card at the top is a little bit damaged, you can see that, but so he actually gave me a deal on it. It basically paid what you would have paid in the store for it, which is fine. I mean, that's kind of what happens. You order these things and they come in the mail, sometimes damaged, but I am going to keep this one carded just because I do love the retro look and the multicolored version of it. I'm not going to get all 6 versions, so I can have 6 colors. And then the last thing is not Star Wars based, but I have to get it because of other reasons, which I'll explain. A nice little Mego 2-pack. Okay, I do have an affinity and a nostalgic love of Mego. Mego was probably my first action figures that I've ever played with when I was very young, pre-Star Wars. They had, of course, we had all the superheroes. We had, you know, it was the only time we could have DC and Marvel. We had like Superman, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk. We also had Star Trek figures, Kirk, Spock, and the whole gang. And in addition to that, they had the Planet of the Apes, quite a few other crossover. I think, was it of Oz figures? So recently, the Mego company, or rather, I don't know if it's the actual company or if it's another company that's being nostalgic for Mego. I don't know if Mego's still in business. Mego, I will say, famously turned down the Star Wars license. Tried to make up for it with Star Trek motion picture, didn't go well. So, you know, there's a little bit of a, I guess you could say, life lessons there. So that's kind of fun. But what do we have here? We have Gene Wilder, Peter Boyle, Young Frankenstein from Putting on the Ritz scene. My friend has given me 2 other figures, a different Gene Wilder as the Doctor, just in his Doctor garb, and Igor, Marty Feldman. And then we have these 2, you know, from the Putting on the Ritz scene. Mel Brooks is, I've always said, is was a family guest, figuratively speaking. At every holiday we would watch a Mel Brooks film. It would either be Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles, Putting on the Ritz, or Putting on the Ritz, History of the World, High Anxiety, Spaceballs, Men in Tights, Robin Hood Men in Tights, all sorts of them. We always loved, and you know, happy that he's still around, still contributing to the world. He just wrote a book. I think he's possibly doing producing a series of History of the World Part 2 finally as a TV series. So I'm very excited about all that. But these 2 guys I just absolutely loved, and one of my favorite scenes in in the film and in all of Mel Brooks. I'm a musician, as people know, so we actually produced in a community theater. We did the Young Frankenstein play, so this has got a strong place in my heart. Not that I do too many other kind of toy collecting. People who have watched the channel know that aside from the very occasional Batman TV series collectibles, that's pretty much all I collect. But he'll find those two guys will find a nice spot in a display somewhere, just because it's fun. So all in all, I was pretty happy with it. Didn't go crazy. There was quite a lot of varied mounts, a lot of Master of the Universe, a lot of Transformers. It was a very small space, as you saw. But I like the smaller shows. I think that they're cheaper to get into. It only costs $3 to get in. And it was really fun. The one thing I would say, if you're going to go hunting at toy shows, a couple of pieces of advice. Number one, do some research. Figure out if you're a collector, figure out things that you're trying to find, maybe things that you weren't able to get on their first initial release. Make a list, keep track of them, and maybe see about what they're going for on eBay. Like check to see if indeed it might be less expensive for you to try to find it online. I will tell you, when you figure in shipping costs, you're probably going to do better at toy shows. A lot of times they will take if you buy 2 items, they'll give you a deal on them. They might offer you a slightly lower price if you offer cash. I got to tell you, the people that I met today were awesome. They were very nice. They were friendly. They were courteous. They didn't make you feel pressured. They just were happy to have conversations. So it was it was really refreshing, fun morning. So I recommend that. The other thing I would recommend, though, guys, is I made one little error today. And that is that I was under the impression, I've had a lot of errors this week. I showed up yesterday thinking it was a toy show and it was a card show. So there you go, there's that. But I also did something where I thought that it was 9 o'clock is when vendors arrive and 10 o'clock is when guests arrive. Well, I was wrong. 9 o'clock was when you could, early buyers arrive, meaning you could go and pay a few extra dollars and get there an hour before the massive people that would come. And I showed up I kind of split the difference. I showed up at 9:50, and they didn't even charge me the $5. They charged me $3, and at 9:53 or 4 they let me go in. But if I'd gone in at 9, I'd talked to a few of the vendors, and they said that all of their Star Wars stuff gets sold off in the first 20 minutes. And I know that because I've been in that situation when I do a yard sale. If I put Star Wars stuff out, it always goes at the first. If the newspaper advertisement I put out says that the garage sale opens at 9, people show up at 7. So I know this, and I have all the Star Wars stuff. So by the time 8 o'clock rolls around, we're an hour before the posted start time. All the stuff's gone. So now there was plenty of Star Wars stuff around, but some people sold a few more choice items, some things that they were really excited to have. So there you go. So you got to be careful with that, and I make sure that you do. All right, so that will do it for this episode of Darth Tuba Stars Unboxing Show. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Check me out on Instagram and Twitter. Check out the War of the Stars podcast. War of the Stars podcast. And I will try to get out to some more of these. There's another one coming up in about a month, so I might try again. And I'm actually thinking about running. If I got to find out whoever runs it, if they're going to do a booth in the summer, I might actually want to come and actually set up a booth to sell stuff. Maybe try to thin out some of the collection, which I've been doing here and there, just to kind of make room for new stuff. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time, may the Force and the toys be with you.